When it comes to public speaking, it's important to realize that writing the speech is only half the battle. You actually have to get up and deliver the speech. And when it comes right down to it, the delivery of your speech can really make or break your public speaking situation. So today we are going to be talking about delivering the speech, and this involves the verbal as well as the nonverbal aspects of nonverbal language and some tips and tricks for how you can best deliver your speech. So, as I was saying, how we deliver a speech is often just as important, if not more important, than the message itself. Put it this way. You could have the most gorgeous speech on paper, right? I could look at your outline and say, oh man, I'm so excited for this speech. This is a perfect outline. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fully thought out, right? It's a gorgeous outline. But if the delivery isn't there, the message gets completely lost. Because if you get up and you are just delivering your message and you're monotone or you're reading off of the page, right? Those can absolutely kill the message and kill the audience's involvement with the speech. On the other hand, I could look at an outline and say, okay, this is a pretty good outline. Not the best I've seen, but there's still some room for improvement. And then if the delivery is there and the speaker gets up and just is super eloquent, then that completely changes my mind about the way that speech was going to go. So oftentimes we find that the way that we deliver a speech is often just as important, if not more important, than the message of the speech itself. When it comes to delivering the speech, we know that different speaking contexts can affect our delivery as speakers. So things like how big the audience is, whether we're speaking indoors or outdoors, and whether we have access to a lectern and microphone can change the way that we deliver the speech. For example, with audience size, typically, if we have a smaller audience, we tend to think of that as a more informal speech, right? We're giving it to just a handful of people, and we can speak much more conversationally. Whereas if we are speaking in front of a group of 100 people or 200 people, that increases the formality of the delivery. And so you have to stand a little bit straighter and speak a little bit more properly and things like that, right? So the audience size is going to have an effect on the way that you deliver your speech. Whether you're indoors or outdoors is going to have an effect. So for example, if you are outdoors, you might be competing with airplanes that are flying overhead or sunlight that's reflecting off of your visual aid or a number of other things. And if you have a lectern or microphone, that also affects your delivery, right? Because the microphone amplifies your voice, but you might have to speak a little bit more slowly to make sure that it doesn't get all jarbled when it gets sent out to the audience. So there's lots of things to think about when it comes to the delivery of your speech. In addition, we want to make sure that we are using our notes effectively when we are delivering a speech. Remember, we're aiming for extemporaneous delivery. So we want to hold our notes naturally in our hand. We want to, first of all, put our notes on note cards that we can hold in our hands, not on paper, right? We want to have either 3x5 or 4x6 note cards that we can just kind of hold naturally in our hands, and they should become sort of an extension of your body, right? So you should be able to gesture freely with the notes in your hands. And you should write on those note cards big enough so that you can see them at a glance and easily trigger your recall with the keywords that you've chosen to put on those note cards. So you want to use your notes as effectively as you possibly can so that you can deliver your speech in the most fluid manner possible.